Tammy ended up selling the car to someone else.
Miss Seed, how did you know Miss Maxwell before you agreed to buy her car?
I used to work with her.
According to your complaint, she had a car she was selling. You decided to buy it. You agreed on a price of $3,500. Miss Maxwell said she would sell you the car, you could pay it off, but she would keep the car until it was paid. As soon as you finished making your last payment, she would sign the title over the car and give it to you. So far, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
You started to make payments on the car, and according to you, you made $1,600 worth of payments.
Yes.
And then you ran into some financial difficulty, and you stopped making payments.
Correct.
And Miss Maxwell sold the car because you hadn't made your payments, and you want your $1,600 back.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Maxwell says that she used your money to make the car payments on the car because that was what she had intended to do, and that she sold the car for just the difference in what was owed on the car and what you had given her, which was $1,900. That's what you're telling me, is that right?
Yes.
So first, let me see the bill of sale for the car. Okay, well, this says that you're buying it in as-is condition. And did you check the Blue Book price of the car at the time?
Yes, I did.
And what was the Blue Book price of the car?
About $2,500.
So why did you agree to pay $3,500?
Because it had some modifications done to it.
Like what?
It had wheels and tires. It had a...
Wheels and tires usually come with a car. It's very hard to drive a car without wheels and tires.
Custom
what?
Custom wheels and tires.
Yeah.
It had a stereo system in it with subwoofers, so it wasn't stock stereo.
So what do you need that stuff for?
Just a kid wanting to have fun with a nice car, I guess.
When did you sell the car?
September.
Who did you sell the car to?
It's a private party.
Let me see. Bill of sale.
I don't have the bill of sale. I gave it to them to register the car. I have my loan payoff, which was $1,823. And so I took the $1,900 and paid off the loan.
Well, you would have a bill of sale from somebody else.
No, I gave it to them. I didn't keep a copy for myself.
Well, you have to. That means I'm just relying on you to tell me the truth with regard to how much you sold the car for. Because you sold it to her for $3,500 and she was a friend. Is that right?
Yes.
Several months later, you sold it to somebody else, according to you, for $1,900. Who was a stranger.
I couldn't afford the loan. My insurance was doubled with the car on it.
No, but are you following me?
Yes, I follow.
Why would you sell it to a stranger for $1,600 less than it was worth?
Just to pay off the loan because I couldn't afford the loan anymore.
It doesn't make sense, madam. What was the balance when you sold it to her at the end of February?
$2,300.
$2,300. So from her, you got $1,600, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I believe you, which I don't, from somebody else you got $1,900, right?
Yes.
Equals $3,500. The only thing that was left on the loan was $2,300.
Yes.
That means that on these two transactions, if I believed you, you made a profit of $1,200.
I also had to pay the insurance on it.
Of course, you had the car.
But I wasn't driving it. I was just holding it for her.
How do I know that? You can't come unjustly enriched at her expense. And you did. If I believe everything she said, and I have no proof that it's not true, so she has to give you back $1,200, which she says she profited. She doesn't realize that she said she profited, but she did. She profited $1,200 worth. That goes to you. The rest of it you've lost.
Okay.
Got it?
Fine.
Judgment for the plaintiff came out to $1,200.
Out of Evgene versus Fonger. Parties have been sworn in, Judge.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Fonger?
Fonger.
And Mr. Evgene.
Correct.
How old are you, sir?
50.
Other than this arrest that you had on this charge of domestic violence, have you ever been arrested?
No.
So this arrest for domestic violence was your first arrest?
For domestic violence, yes.
I'm talking about for anything.
For anything. In 2001, wet reckless.
2001 what?
Wet reckless?
What does that mean?
That is a DUI that was reduced to a wet reckless.
So in 2001 you had one arrest for DUI?
Correct.
Other than that?
That's it.
And how long had you and Miss Fonger been a couple?
We met in April of '06 at rehab.
Nature of your addiction was alcohol?
Alcohol, correct.
And yours?
It was pills.
Your complaint alleges that you were arrested for domestic violence. The incident occurred because Miss Fonger actually assaulted you while you were driving in the car. It is your claim that ultimately the charges against you were dropped
Correct.
for lack of evidence. The criminal charges. You allege that Ms. Fonger filed for a restraining order. She never showed up. That case was dismissed.
Correct.
Then she filed for another restraining order, and she conned you into not going to court on
Correct.
that one. Told you she was going to drop those charges, so you didn't go to court.
Along with a little loving, yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And then she did go to court and did, in fact, get a protective order.
Correct.
And you want her to compensate you to the tune of $5,000. Ms. Fonger says that you did, in fact, assault her. She's got a counterclaim for her medical bills and punitive damages for the assault. So, I want you to tell me exactly your version of the events, Ms. Fonger, of what happened on the 9th of January, because you also have a claim for certain property that you claim she took while the 2 days that you were in jail before the charges were dropped, and a dog that you claim she took that belonged to you. Okay. Go.
Okay. On January 9th, we were on. Sorry, I'm nervous. We went to Pollock Casino, and we meet people. And that night, he decided not to go to the concert. So he pulled me out, and we went to Temecula Valley.
You said you had been to the concert at the casino,
Halfway.
but you went to the concert.
Right, but only halfway.
Okay. And then he wanted to leave. You were driving the car back, and?
And he was drunk,
Yes.
and he was on drugs.
And?
And then I was yelling and screaming.
And what about you?
I had 4 drinks.
And what about pills?
Nope.
Just alcohol.
Yeah, correct.
I have proof she had pills that night.
What kind of proof do you have?
A week before that, she got 120 somas by forging my doctor's signature.
But how can you prove that she had pills in her system that night?
Her actions, her behavior, it just goes
Okay.
from what
That's not
she's.
proof. Go ahead.
When we got to, actually, between Pollock Casino and Temecula Valley, he hit my head against the wall, or against the window. I was unconscious. And then he kept hitting me. He restrained me. And then the next thing I know was the police were there.
Okay. Go ahead.
Back from the concert, she didn't want to go. She wanted to stay. And with this new friend she had met, party with them, and we were arguing. And then I'm driving, and she attacks me. I have pictures of my face being scratched. And
You wanted to leave the concert early?
I don't think so. No, we left early, but I didn't want to leave early. No.
Do you remember why?
But I think it's because the couple that she'd met started making inappropriate remarks towards, like, maybe you guys could sleep in our room tonight and things like that. And I didn't want to stick around.
When had you been drinking that day?
Pretty much from noon until the concert, you know.
And when had the defendant been drinking that day?
Along with me all day long, yeah.
So you were drinking home and you were driving while you were drinking?
No, I wasn't driving while I was
Not while you were drinking, but you had been drinking all day and you got behind the wheel of the car.
That is correct.
So what happened in the car, if you remember?
Oh, I remember. Very nice. She attacked me. I pulled over because it almost
Tell me how
wrecked.
she attacked you.
She came across my face and scratched me. And I.
Well, what were you arguing about that caused that?
Just that she wanted to stay and I didn't. And she was being just the normal self that she always is when she takes her pills. And I didn't want to, have to take care, because she can't walk or talk after a certain amount of them, and I have to take care of her, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I pull over into a parking lot and try to calm her down. She's running around the parking lot screaming, out of control. I can't calm her down. People call the cops. They come and they arrest me, and then they get.
Do you have a police report?
She did.
I'd like to see the police report.
I never did get a police report.
I'd like to see the police report, and I would also like to see the pictures.
Here's the proof of the pills, too, if you want. She just got 120 more of them 2 weeks ago. That's probably why she can't stand up.
No.
You want pills now, Ms. Fonger?
No, I haven't been.
You willing to take a drug test?
I'm willing to.
Hair follicle test?
Sure.
We'll arrange for that.
Mr. Evgene has been taking drugs.
I'm just asking you, are you prepared to take a hair follicle test?
Yes.
Today?
Yes.
And you will either be exonerated or humiliated. Don't waste my time. Don't waste his time. If you've taken any drugs, it's going to show up in your hair follicle. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay? And you would agree that if you lied to me about using drugs now, so you don't have any pills in your system, that I would have serious reservations about everything else that you told me. Do you understand
Correct.
that?
You can test Mr. Evgene, too.
I'm just asking you.
Okay.
His behavior is not bizarre. Yours is.
I'm very nervous.
That's not nerves. That's more than nerves.
Amen.
Been in the business a long time.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Evgene says his ex-fiancée, Kimberly Fonger, owes for a false arrest and for the return of his property and his dog. Kimberly is countersuing for medical bills from an assault.
Well, so according to the police, you were both drunk as skunks that day. Both of you. According to the police, you both had visible signs of injury. You had a bloody lip, and he had bloody scratches on his face. They decided to arrest him, right?
Correct.
You deserve to be arrested. You were driving drunk. You had a fight with her. So your statement that her behavior caused you to be arrested, that's not true. She may have contributed to it, but your own behavior caused you to be arrested.
Her behavior was the one
Your
that...
own behavior caused you to be arrested, sir. If you were not drunk, you wouldn't have been put in that situation.
If she had not called attention to everybody and had the cops call...
You're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's what happens when you drink and drive.
I understand that, but I could have
That's what happens when you drink and drive.
Could have sat in my truck all night and no one would know I've been drunk, you know, unless someone called them. And she's the one that had
Or
them.
unless you hit somebody who was traveling with their 4 children in a car.
That's another story.
That's another story. I have zero
Tolerance.
sympathy for you.
I understand that.
Zero sympathy for you. I have less sympathy for you. Right now, I'm telling you right now, my inclination is to let you, if you're sober now, terrific, but to let you two drunks who were drunk on January 9th go your own way, and whatever happened to you that day, that's it. He was injured, you were injured, he got to spend some time in jail, had to bail himself out, lost a dog, lost some property, which, by the way, you have his property?
No. It's mine.
What property did she take?
The dog, the TV, the VCR, the bed.
How long had you been living together?
3 years.
I'm not bothering with it. That's your problem.
The dog, though, is like a kid. You can't take a kid from you. It's like taking a kid from you. How do you do that?
You've been living together for 3 years, is that right?
I paid for everything. It's my dog.
How long have you had the dog?
2.5 years.
Good. Can I see the medical records, please?
Yes. As well, this is the AKC, and it's
This is
wrong.
the medical records.
Yes.
That's what she had.
Thank
And
you.
Your Honor, I have a tape that says the dog's mine.
I don't care what you have. I just told him he's not getting the dog back. This is not the hospital record, madam. This is not a medical record. This tells you what to do in case you have serious vomiting or worsening or a headache or whatever. I'm not interested in that.
That's from the hospital.
Well, it's not enough for me. Will you pass this back to her, please? He had a swollen lip. He had a scratched face. Sounds to me as if you two people who were intoxicated in a car got exactly what you both deserved. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was just waiting to happen. It was one of those relationships that, you meet in rehab, and they tell you not to date, and they're right. You don't do it.
Don't meet a man in rehab.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Frith versus Austin, step forward.
19-year-old Kimberly Frith is suing her mother, Ruth Austin, for spending a settlement check for an injury she received as a young girl.
Miss Frith, this is your mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Your complaint alleges that when you were a youngster, 6,
Yes, ma'am.
you were bitten by a dog.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a lawsuit filed, and there was a settlement. Your parents got the settlement, your mother and your father. Your parents are divorced now. And when you turned 18, your father gave you half of
We settled out
the
of court.
settlement.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want the other half from your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
And your mother says that that money was just used to live.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have the paperwork on the settlement?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. I assume, Miss Frith, you and your mom have been at odds.
A little bit, yeah.
How old are you now?
I am 19.
And you live with whom?
Well, I'm staying with my father right now. I'm in the process of moving.
What are you doing?
I'm an in-home support specialist. I work with handicapped children.
Okay. So after the attorney was paid, the entire amount was $2,641. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you resolved this with your father.
We settled because he's been paying my cell phone bill for the past 2 years, and I've been staying with him, not paying any rent.
When did you make the arrangement with him with regard to paying your cell phone bill as a quid pro quo of this money?
When I turned 18, because my father also had spent $1,000 of my money when my grandfather passed away. And when I turned 18, he started paying the cell phone bill. And I asked him if he would help me out to go to school. And I'm actually in the process of going to school, and he's given me some money for that.
Well, this money was put into a bank account, was it not, Miss Austin?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Back then, we had no money. We lived in motels. I worked 2 different jobs. Her dad worked shows, flea markets, whatever, and we just didn't have any money.
Was there anything in the paperwork that directs that this money be placed in an interest-bearing account for your benefit?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you have her read it to me? Read to me the part of that you believe directs that this money be placed in an interest-bearing account for you. I don't see that in your paperwork, but if you believe that it's there, I'm asking you to read it to me, Ms. Frith.
Ma'am.
Just read it to me.
The undersigned understand that the parties hereby release admit no liability of any sort by reason of said accident, and that said payment and compromise is made to terminate further controversy respecting all claims for damages that said minor or undersigned have heretofore asserted or might personally.
Correct. That's a general release. That means that your parents, on behalf of themselves and you, release the person who owned the dog from any further lawsuits.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all that says.
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't say that your parents are obligated to put the money in an interest-bearing account and turn it over to you when you're 18. If you had bills, if you had anything that was related to the dog bite, that money could be used for that, if they wished. I'm looking for a legal hook for you, and I don't see it.
Ma'am, what I was told is that if
you can't tell me what you were told. What you were told is hearsay.
If the money was not spent on me, then it shouldn't have been spent.
Is that what you think?
That's what I've seek legal counsel, and that's what I've been.
That's hearsay, and I can't help you with that.
They weren't living in a motel at the time.
I don't care whether they were or not.
It would have been put in an interest-bearing account if they actually taken it to court, but they just released the check believing that my parents would do what they were supposed to do.
Well, they didn't.
They didn't, and I'm upset.
I can see that you're upset. I can see that you're upset.
Yes, ma'am.
But what I'm telling you is you don't have a legal basis to be upset. You have a moral basis to be upset, but you don't have a legal basis to be upset. Your parents signed off on it, probably selfishly and stupidly, both of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this was fast money, and they didn't have to wait for the matter to go to trial, where they might have gotten some more money, but then the court would have been involved in setting up what they call a structured settlement for a minor. And the structured settlement for the minor would have said this money has to go into a certain kind of account and can only be touched in case of absolute necessity. Parents make mistakes all the time, and they act selfishly all the time, and that's what your mother and your father did. But that doesn't mean that you have a legal claim against your mother for half the money.
Well, that's what I believe the parents' release and indemnity agreement was.
No. Parents' release just says that they release the owner of the dog from any further liability in consideration of the $4,000 less attorney's fees.
Well, I'm the one that's left with the scars. They're not.
You're absolutely right. I said to you, you have a reason to be morally distressed, but not legally distressed. So, I understand your position, and I understand your consternation. What I don't understand is, I don't consider it a big deal that your father has paid your phone bill. And I don't think it's a big deal that your father has let his daughter live in his house when she's 17 and 18 years old, rent-free. That's not a big deal. If I could have gotten away with that with my children, I would be dancing a big old dance right now. And if your father is going to help you pay for school, that's what your father is supposed to do.
And that's what my mother's
That's
also
what your father is supposed to do.
My mother's
and if your mother
also
is able,
supposed to
just
do
a
that.
second, and if your mother is able to, and she's not doing it, then she's not a good mother. That's not what we have courts for. What I'm telling you is your father is supposed to do whatever he's been doing for you.
And I have been helping, ma'am.
Well, I don't know how you've been
helping.
helping.
Putting me in debt.
Just a second. Clearly, your daughter is angry with you for something.
Yes, ma'am.
for something, which I'm not getting into now because, quite frankly, I don't care why she's angry with you.
Right.
Sometimes teenage girls get angry with their mother, and they don't get happy with their mother until they're 30. And they stay happy with their father just because. That's what happens.
Right.
And what happens? Yeah, sometimes.
That's what happens.
In any event, your father doesn't deserve any kudos for doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's supporting his child. How long have your parents been divorced?
9 years.
And who did you live with initially?
Well, we stayed with our mom, but I just
For how
ventured
long?
out with friends.
For how long did you stay with your mother?
I was 11, when I was about a year.
And after the year?
I moved in with some friends.
When you were how old?
12, 13, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
No. No.
You may have spent a lot of time with your friends, but I don't believe that when you were 11 or 12 years old you moved in with
She
friends.
lived with me.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
all right, Ms. Frith, I'm sorry, but you don't have a claim against your mother. Case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused the next 3:38 on the calendar in the matter of Calderon versus Calderon.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Calderon, this is your former wife, according to your complaint. Subsequent to your divorce, when all matters of finances had been resolved, your wife used a credit card that was in your name without your authorization. And it was a gas credit card. And according to you, in a very short period of time, a few days, she ran up a bill of well over $500. You want to be compensated for that. Ms. Calderon states in her answer that she believed that you left this card open for her because you were being a nice guy and you knew that she was struggling financially. Of course, you say that when you confronted her with that, her reaction was somewhat different. Can I see a copy of your judgment of divorce, please?
Yes.
You were married for 25 years?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that right? And you have kids?
Yes.
How many children?
2.
Grown?
Yes.
It is clear from the judgment of divorce that any and all liabilities incurred after December 14th of 2004 belong to each of you separately. Now, when were these credit card bills made?
October 13th through the 19th.
Of 2005?
Of 2005. I have a
Can I see them, please? How did you become aware of them, sir?
I have received a letter of address change, and I knew that I had not changed my address. I didn't even know the credit card existed. And when I called them, they told me that I had requested to change my address, and I thought that there was something wrong with that and asked if there was any charges on the account.
Okay, Ms. Calderon, the ball is in your court. Explain it to me, please.
Basically, the reason that I was in the situation I was in is because I was so heavily in debt and destroyed from what he had done to me from this divorce, because he knew last year when my daughter graduated high school, my oldest daughter graduated college, and my oldest daughter got married, that I had put a lot of money into that. And
this has nothing to do with that.
Well, but this is why I was.
Calderon,
this is why.
This has nothing to do with that. This is not.
I would have never used it though.
This is not even a large amount of money. We're talking about a gas credit card where it's clear you allowed someone else to use this gas credit card.
I got gas for my kids. We were all struggling. He destroyed us all.
Just a second. In 4 days, you got gas for your children. You have 2 children and yourself.
Right.
You filled up the cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what's $98.20. That's not a car fill up. Or $83.
Or a case of oil.
A case of oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. Let us assume 3 people's cars. 13 times in a 4-day period. So, Ms. Calderon, don't play with me. This is not because you needed money.
Yes, it was.
When you enter into an agreement, and I assume that this was your agreement, it looks as if it was boilerplate clauses, you agreed that after December of 2004, you would not make any debts for the other party. You chose not to do that.
His friend told my daughter that he left the card open for me to use because he felt sorry for me because he knew how hard of a time I was having.
Oh, okay, well, that's a different story. Is that person here today?
Yes.
Step up, sir. Tell me your name.
David Dover.
Mr. Dover, did you ever tell Mr. Calderon's daughter that this credit card was left open?
No, ma'am. I never knew the card existed. I never knew anything about it.
Step up. You're the daughter.
Yes.
Your name?
Angela Schubert.
Angela, tell me about this alleged conversation.
We were going to dinner for my birthday, and I was sitting in front, and we had just found out I was pregnant that day. It was August 18th. We picked up my dad from work, and we work at, well, it was before we picked him up for work. And we were just talking about the divorce, you know. I was trying to get to know him since, you know, he lives with my dad now. And he just happened to say, well, your dad did leave a gas card open for your mom. Because we didn't know, because all the gas cards were closed.
Let me ask you this question. Somebody must have been complaining about money.
No.
So, because the statement that you ascribed to this gentleman, well, this is what you said, well, your dad did leave a gas card open for your mom.
We were talking
is
about,
always a response to something said to him.
We were talking about how hard it was for everyone in the divorce, and how it happened. We were talking about how hard it was. And he said, well, you know, your dad left a gas card open for your mom, and, you know, to help her out a little bit.
And you went back and told her,
shh. I didn't tell her right away.
You didn't tell her right away. When did you tell her?
Maybe a week, week and a half, 2 weeks tops.
Okay, so a week and a half, 2 weeks tops, you tell your mother. And your mother didn't have this credit card.
Yes, I do.
Just a second. You didn't have it. According to you, you found it. Listen to me. You found it. When did you find it?
I wasn't trying to use any of the credit cards.
When did you find it?
When she told me he left it open for me and we were having such a hard time.
Well, did you call him and say...
I can't. We don't communicate.
What do you mean? You don't have a telephone?
He communicates through the kids.
Before I would extend his credit based upon hearsay, I would have picked up a telephone or sent him a note. Is it true that I can use this credit card? I certainly would have at least, if I believed that it was true that he held open this credit card, Miss Calderon, I would have tried it for 1 month. He would have gotten the bill and he would have said, well, I have a $40 bill for gas. I wonder what this is from. But you didn't do that. You charged $500 worth of gas in 4 days. And then, according to your former husband, when he confronted you, because you did call her.
I actually contacted her via email. I don't call her. I had to change my number so many times.
Fine. So you didn't?
But I did contact her.
And what was her response?
She said that go ahead and prosecute her. It would be well worth it for the look on my face.
Can I see it, please?
I was shocked that he wanted to prosecute me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I still am in shock that he's done what he's done to us. And
You're shocked.
I never thought he was that cold-blooded, and I still can't believe it.
And later today,
I said, I'm calling the police. And she said she took him and she pawned him and she thought she could get him back in my jewelry box before I noticed.
That's what drug addicts do, not casual marijuana smokers.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Alan Calderon says ex-wife Linda Calderon made unauthorized charges on his credit card.
Well, this email acknowledges, Miss Calderon, that you used this card, but you said, I figured I'd be able to make payments just like you would.
If he had a problem with what I got. But I got things to help us because I knew how he always tries to make himself appear to be generous, but his MO is not generosity. And
Listen to me, he doesn't have to be generous with you anymore.
He has never been generous with
me. Ms. Calderon, then you stayed with somebody for 25 years who wasn't generous. You're divorced now. And what you have to do is you have to put a period and move forward. The economics of divorce is never easy. When you try to run two households on the same salaries that you were using to support one household, that's never easy for anybody. But what you cannot do is, you cannot say, I have a contract, and I'm not satisfied with the terms of the contract, so I can, because of necessity, because I was married to him for 25 years, because we have children together, they have needs, whatever, I'm going to extend his credit. You can't do that.
I still am in shock that he's done what he's done to us.
Listen to me.
And
You're shocked.
I never thought he was that cold-blooded, and I still can't believe it.
The retaliation was not to use a credit card.
I didn't do it in retaliation.
Well, then you got to pay it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $507. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was married to a snake, and I had no idea I was.
My ex-wife has been harassing me, and this is just another form of harassment.
It's all because of self-indulgence and selfishness that someone would do this to their family in the first place.
She actually moved out on me, but if you hear her talk, she'd think that, you know, I left her.
I don't know who he is, and I thought that, you know, he really was trying to be generous and help us.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter, Schoonmaker versus Huddleston. Step forward.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker is suing her daughter, 20-year-old Heather Huddleston, for stealing and pawning her wedding rings. Heather claims she had her mother's permission.
The Schoonmaker, this young lady is your daughter, and according to your complaint, she owes you some money. She owes you some money because, as a result, according to you, of her drug abuse, she fell behind in her rent. She and her boyfriend, and she came to you for money, and you gave her jewelry to pawn. She pawned the jewelry. She was supposed to get it out. She didn't. You lost the jewelry. You want the money. Is that right?
Well, she also stole my wedding rings out of my jewelry box and pawned them without my knowledge.
For how long has your daughter had a drug problem?
I didn't know that she had one. She told me it was her boyfriend.
When she came to you and asked for money, she told you that the boyfriend had a drug problem?
She said that he was spending money on things he shouldn't be. He was doing drugs and stuff like that.
So then why in the world would you give her jewelry to pawn?
I gave it to her so she would have a place to live. I didn't want her.
Why couldn't she come home?
I have other children that I don't want exposed to the lifestyle that she was doing.
Well, just a second. I thought you said there was nothing wrong with her lifestyle. It was the boyfriend.
I don't know what her lifestyle was. I know that she was spending money and doing things that she should not be doing.
Then you
That's the reason that
you
she
shouldn't
left.
have given her your jewelry.
You're right.
So then what are you doing in court?
I'm doing it in court because she stole rings from my jewelry box that I had no knowledge of.
I want you to forget about the pawn jewelry.
Right.
And I think that you knew what her lifestyle was, and that if you gave her jewelry to pawn, there was no legitimate expectation of you getting this money back, because drug abusers don't return money. Drug abusers put money in their arms or up their noses. Right, Miss Huddleston?
Yes, ma'am.
Your mother says that after she gave you this jewelry to pawn, which you did, you stole some property from her. Did you?
That's not true.
Well, tell me about these wedding rings that she said that you took.
The wedding rings she never wore, and I came upon a time when I needed money for rent, and she told me to go ahead and take the jewelry out of her jewelry box, the wedding rings, to pawn them so I could pay rent, because she never wore them. She hasn't worn them in 5 years.
That's not true.
What other jewelry did she give you?
Previously, she had given me a bag of gold necklaces and a ring that my grandmother had given her. She offered it. I never asked her for money. I told her that I was having problems, and she offered it to me.
That's not true.
What kind of drugs were you or are you involved with?
I was smoking marijuana, and she knew.
And the boyfriend?
Anything and everything.
But not you?
The only thing I ever did was marijuana.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker says her daughter, Heather Huddleston, stole her wedding rings and pawned them.
Still with the boyfriend?
Nope.
Who do you live with now?
I live with friends in Arizona.
Do you work?
Not yet. I'm a student.
You're a student where?
At massage therapy school.
Who pays for it?
I got a grant.
Pays for your living expenses?
I do.
From what?
I have money.
From what?
Doing various jobs. I clean houses and babysit.
Oh, what a bunch of baloney. What a bunch of baloney.
It's true.
My dear Miss Huddleston, you wouldn't know the truth if it came up and cracked you in the face. The wedding rings, when did you find out that they were missing?
When I went to I always go into my jewelry box because I keep my earrings and everything in there. I wasn't wearing the rings because one of the diamonds was loose.
Don't tell me what you weren't wearing them. You weren't wearing them.
I wasn't wearing them, and they were gone. I called her at school. She was going to massage therapy school at the time when this happened, and I said, my wedding rings are gone. Do you know where they are? Have you done? She goes, no, I don't know, but when I come home, I will help you find them. And she came home, and I sat her down, and I said, I'm calling the police. And once the police are involved, if you're involved, you're going to jail because I can't stop it. And she said she took them, and she pawned them, and she thought she could get them back in my jewelry box before I noticed.
That's what drug addicts do.
I know.
Not casual marijuana smokers. How much were the wedding rings pawned for?
$150.
Did you go to the pawn shop to try to get them back?
I didn't know what pawn shop it was, and her boyfriend called me It told me after she left him, for no reason, he didn't even know that she had left him, that he went down to the pawn shop because that's where he gave her the money to go down and pick them up and bring them to me. She told me she was on her way to my house to do laundry and bring me my rings and never showed up. And this is the first time I've seen her since then. The pawn shop had sold all the rings a while ago.
You know who she's living with now?
A guy that she met on the internet.
One guy? Or
One
friend?
guy with his old girlfriend and his baby.
How old is she?
She'll be 21 in December. I've tried to help her. I don't know how else to help her. And I feel like she needs to start paying for the things that she's doing. And I just thought here at least she would start seeing what her actions are going to start becoming. They're going to get worse. I don't want to have to pick her up in jail. And I won't.
Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you're ready to turn your life around.
That's what I'm hoping.
When did she leave home?
She left home when she was 19.
You go to live with this boyfriend?
She knew him a week and left.
Who else lives at home with you?
My 17-year-old daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, and my 10-year-old son.
You know what these rings were appraised for that she took?
I went in and I got an estimate on what it would cost to replace all of the rings. From
Not all the rings.
No, I know, but it has just them separated. My wedding ring and my engagement ring set is on here. $28.99 for the engagement ring and $880 for the wedding ring.
Are you still married to the man who gave you the rings?
Yes, I am. We've lived together for 16 years.
He's not her father?
He's not her father. But you'd never know the difference.
Anything you want to say?
She told me that those rings were remnants of an unhappy marriage and that she was happy to get rid of them. And that's why she let me pawn them. And
I never said that.
I just think it's really funny, you know, she was helping me out, and now because she's getting in trouble from my stepdad and my grandma, she's got to turn around and blame it on me, and I just don't think that's fair.
What do you think is fair?
I didn't do anything wrong. She gave it to me.
You did do something wrong. You came to your mother and you said, I got a drug addict boyfriend, I'm behind in the rent, you were living a lifestyle that was inappropriate, and you came to your mother, who clearly is not a rich lady, because if she was a rich lady, she would have had the money to give you for the rent. She didn't, so all she had was this bag of jewelry, and you're a big girl. You chose to be a big girl. You chose to move out of your house and live on your own.
I never asked her to help me. She offered to help.
How would she know that you needed anything unless you came to her and said, I don't have rent? Listen to me. How would she know that you needed money unless you came to her and told her that you didn't have rent money?
Because I came over one day and I was upset. And like any caring mother would, she asked what was wrong. At least I thought she was caring. Sorry.
You got to do the right thing. You still have time. If you continue to make bad choices in your life, you know what's going to happen. You're going to end up being, instead of a 20-year-old bum, a 40-year-old bum. If you lie down with dirt, you get dirty. Did you ever hear that expression? Did everybody say anything like that to you? If you lie down in dirt, you're going to get dirty. And it sounds to me like you went from the frying pan into the fire. It's not too late. You're still a young girl. But you better start making right choices. Because if you don't make right choices, you're going to end up a 40-year-old dirty girl instead of a 20-year-old dirty girl. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Before on the calendar, in the matter of Overturf Crawford versus Cooper. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
What's your name, sir?
Jerry Overturf.
Is this your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
She can sit down. Mr. Overturf, this is your former wife.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
That's correct.
Together. You have custody of the 2 children, pursuant to the judgment of divorce?
Yes.
How old are your children?
My son is 14 and my daughter is 16.
And how long have you been divorced?
Couple years.
How long have you and your former wife been separated?
3 years.
During that 3-year period, did your son and your daughter always reside with you?
My son has always resided with me. She took my daughter with her.
When did your daughter come to live with you?
Just about 2 years this month.
So far, is that all correct?
Samantha hasn't always resided with us. She came to us when she was 2 months old. She's an adopted daughter.
She's your daughter. Okay. Now, you have primary physical custody of the children, and your daughter was visiting with her mother. When did this visit begin?
The first part of June of this year.
Was she supposed to spend the summer?
She was going to go down there and be with her until about the 6th of July.
And your arrangement was that Mrs. Cooper, is this your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
That Mrs. Cooper would pay for her transportation back and forth for the visit.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Correct.
That was your arrangement. But something happened during the course of that visit, and Mrs. Cooper had your daughter, whose name is
Samantha,
arrested and taken into custody for theft.
Correct.
And you had to go to where she was to have her released to your custody. You want your former wife to pay your expenses in going down to pick up your daughter. And you also have some nonsense claim involving your girlfriend because your girlfriend was so upset about the whole situation, it exacerbated a medical condition that she has.
That's incorrect. She already had this condition, and we'd been in to see the doctor. The doctor had said that she was having a major anxiety attack and had put her on some medication. And said
This is your girlfriend?
It's my girlfriend, yes.
Well, what I said pretty much, Mr. Overture, was that you believe that this whole situation with your daughter exacerbated your girlfriend's medical condition. Isn't that what you're claiming?
Well,
anxiety, stress, whatever it was, and you believe that your former wife should be responsible for that.
it added to it because we were asked to stay.
Tell your girlfriend to get over it. That's not what courts are about. You have a difficult family situation. You have 2 teenage children. And if she can't deal with it, she shouldn't be involved with you. But you don't come into court and sue for that kind of nonsense. That's why I told her to sit down. She has no lawsuit, so she's out of the picture. Now, let's deal with the fact that you had to go to get your daughter out of jail. You want to tell me when and why you had your daughter incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am. She seems to be developing some bad habits, you might say. Her sophomore year, which was last school year, she was truant November to December, and the only reason I found that out was because I check online for her attendance. So she ended up with 0 credits for her sophomore year. So
let's get to June and July, please, why you had her incarcerated.
So she come down with me, and
where do you live?
Flagstaff, Arizona.
And where do you live?
Meridian, Idaho.
And she was with me. She didn't want to do anything except lay on the couch and talk to her friends on the phone. She used up 340 minutes worth of phone time the first 2 days she was there, so I refused to buy her any more phone time. And towards the end of her visit, she got in my purse and got my ATM card out and started charging phone calls to her friends on my card. And around the 1st of July, I checked my account, and there's all these charges. I'm like, what's going on here? So I confronted her about it, and she smugly says, yeah. I was like, okay. So I called the Flagstaff Police Department and had an officer come out and told him what was going on. And he goes, do you want to arrest her or don't you? And I said, I don't think I have any other choice as a responsible parent. And so I had her arrested for misuse of a credit card.
How old was your daughter? Your daughter's 16?
16.
16. You thought you had no other choice but to have your 16-year-old daughter, who is not in your custody, arrested for using the telephone? I'm not mitigating what she did by going to your, if she in fact did it, and I believe she did it, right?
Yes.
And she went to your pocketbook, she took your credit card, she used the phone for hours and hours and hours, ran up a phone bill, didn't have your permission to do that, right?
Correct.
I still don't understand why you had her arrested.
Because it's against the law, ma'am. Tough love.
Well, Miss Cooper, sometimes tough love is appropriate when you are a consistent, constant parent, and sometimes, you know, despite your best efforts as being a hands-on, I'm there every minute of the day parent, your child strays. But if your daughter was visiting you for a month, it would seem to me that you were not terribly prudent by calling the police and responding to her use of the phone in that way. She did what teenagers do. Are these your only 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Bird has children, teenagers, right, Bird?
Yep.
And I've had a whole bunch of teenage children. And I'm going to tell you that they can use that phone and they can think of more schemes and scams not to get caught. I had one that used to change phone plans, you know? And she figured by the time all this works out, right, I'm going to be away in college. And she was right. I didn't call the police and have her arrested. when she's 16, does she go to an adult prison or does she go to a juvenile facility?
A juvenile facility, ma'am.
And how old are the kids who were in the juvenile facility? Up to what age?
When they turn 18, they go to the adult facility.
So, women up to the age of 18.
Yes, ma'am.
And they've committed what kind of crimes?
Any kind of crime.
Any kind of crime. Robbery, drugs. Had your daughter ever been arrested before?
No, ma'am. She's lucked out on that. She's driven without driver's license. She's smoked pot. She's done all sorts of things. And she's lucked out.
Driven without a driver's license? Smoke pot? Did you ever have any of your kids arrested?
No.
Me neither. You talk to them, you're aggravated, you don't sleep at night, you stay up when they're out. There are a lot of things that you do. You either lose weight, or you gain weight, or you start smoking, or you start drinking, or whatever it is during those teenage years. But I never would have a child arrested for what really amounts to the overuse of a telephone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many days did you spend in jail, Samantha?
I actually spent about 6 hours, and then I was released to an alternative home.
Have you spoken to your mother since July?
No.
She has some thinking to do.
And later today,
You did not say it was a gift.
No, I did
Right.
tell him that it was a
Right.
gift.
Absolutely right. Your conduct is outrageous. And standing there and lying is even more outrageous.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerry Overturf says his ex-wife, Mary Jo Cooper, had their 16-year-old daughter thrown in jail for stealing. Mary Jo says she was practicing a little tough love.
Now, what do you want to say?
Well, Your Honor, I wanted to say that maybe my wife has forgotten a few things that her daughter's done, or maybe she doesn't want to mention it, such as stealing from her other family and friends. She is on a path that is not in her best interest.
And you
my wife
you think that a period of incarceration in a juvenile facility was going to mend her ways, sir?
I certainly do.
Now you may be seated, Mr. Cooper. Now, did you have to bail your daughter out?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You just had to sign her out.
That's correct.
If you hadn't gone to Arizona, how long would she have stayed in jail? Do you know?
No, I do not.
Okay. Samantha, your turn, right up here. Now, why'd you take your mother's card?
I had, like she said, used a lot of minutes the first 2 days I was there.
Why?
Homesick, wanted to talk to my friends, don't know anybody.
Okay.
I had money my dad sent down with me. I offered to buy a card if she would just take me to the store. And I know it wasn't right what I did, even though I didn't have the card. I wanted her to take me to the store, that's all. And I would pay for the minutes on the card.
Okay. Did you play hooky from school most of last year?
I did.
Why?
I had some troubles with school last year.
What kind of troubles?
I didn't like the school. It was a change. I went from a small high school to over 1,000 kids in one school. It was a big change.
What did you do when you stayed home?
Slept, just lazy.
And what about your father? Did he try to convince
Yeah.
you to get to school?
Yeah, so it was my fault. It wasn't my dad's.
What about this year?
I'm going full-time. I love my new school. I go to an alternative school. I have A's and B's.
Have you spoken to your mother since July?
No.
She has some thinking to do. I hope she has some thinking to do. Now, the day that you got there, were you able to have her released to your custody?
They were very good about it. When we got in, it was late in the evening, and they did something that they said that they normally don't do. They went ahead and woke her up. I got in at 1 o'clock in the morning. We signed an agreement, and I left my phone number, and they've been checking in on us to see how she's doing and making sure there's no problems whatsoever.
How many days did you spend in jail, Samantha?
I didn't spend any days. I actually spent only about 6 hours, and then I was released to an alternative, like, home thing.
Did you like the 6 hours in jail?
No.
Okay. Miss Cooper, you had an obligation to ensure that your daughter would be safely returned on time to his home. You chose not to do that. I think that you made the wrong judgment. I think that you didn't handle this in a way that was in your child's best interest. That's my judgment. And I come from a position of law enforcement. I think that there are certain times when you have to resort to tough love for a child when their life is at risk. But in this situation, you were angry because your daughter seemed to be embarking on a path that you thought was going to lead her to no good. That usually requires you saying to a child, listen, I want to go into some counseling with you. I've made an appointment with a therapist. I want to sit down. I want to find out what's bothering you. That should not trigger you calling the police and saying my daughter stole money from my wallet. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was a vindictive move is what she was trying to do.
I know that it was wrong that I took her credit card.
I think Samantha is basically a real good person, has a lot of potential.
She's a beautiful person. She can do it if she wants to.
Pushed her away, pushed the whole family away is what she's done.
I don't talk to her.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Graham versus Goings. Step forward, please.
Housekeeper Dorothy Graham is suing her daughter, 24-year-old homemaker Tina Goins, for the unpaid balance on a computer. Tina claims the computer was a Christmas gift.
Miss Graham, this young lady is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that you made a loan to your daughter to enable her to buy a computer.
Yes, ma'am.
The agreement was that she would pay off the computer. It is your claim that she made some payments on the computer and then stopped, and you want her to pay the balance.
Yes, ma'am.
Your daughter says that the computer was a gift, that she did make some payments on the computer, but that was really done just to help you out when you were having some financial difficulty.
No, ma'am, that's not true.
How old are you?
24.
Are you divorced?
No, I'm not married.
You have children?
I have 2.
How old are they?
7 and 2.
Who do you live with?
My boyfriend.
Is he the father of any of these children?
He's the father of my 2-year-old.
Does he work?
Yes, he does.
What kind of work does he do?
He does construction.
Does he work all the time?
Every day.
Does he have children?
Just
other
the
than
one we have
2-year-old?
together.
That's the only child he has?
Yes.
How long have you been living on your own?
Since I was 15.
How come?
Because I moved out with my first son's father.
And you moved again?
Yes.
With your present boyfriend?
No, on my own. Me and just my son.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dorothy Graham says her daughter, Tina Goins, owes for a computer. Dorothy claims Tina started paying for it and then stopped.
Tell me about this computer.
Well, it was Christmas of 2000, and before Christmas, I had asked my mom if she would co-sign for me a computer because I was pregnant and I wanted to stay at home and do medical billing from home. Well, she said, no, I'm not going to co-sign for you. I'll buy you one for Christmas. It'll be a gift from me to you for Christmas. And I said, okay. And she didn't get the computer at Christmas because I lived in a small duplex and I was fixing to move and I didn't have room for it. So we waited until like February of March of 2003 and then we ordered the computer through Dell and she paid for it.
There came a time when you made some payments. When was the first payment that you made?
The first payment that I made was in October of 2003.
October, why did you make that?
Because
she
payment? Was hurt on the job and she was off of work and she didn't have the money to pay for it at that time.
Did she call you and ask you to do it?
Yes, she did.
How much was that payment in October?
$44 a month.
How many payments of $44 did you make?
Probably about 7.
When did you stop making the payments?
In August.
Why?
Because our car broke down the day the computer payment was due, and that's all the money that I had in the bank, and we had to get our other car fixed because my boyfriend needed a way back and forth to work, and I have kids I have to take to school every day.
Okay, now let me hear you.
Well, she approached me to buy her a computer because her credit was bad, and she said if I would get it on my credit, then she would pay it off in March when she got her taxes, and she hasn't done that.
Did you have a discussion with her at that time?
Yes, I did, and at that time, she had just had my grandson, and she told me she was going to pay for it, and then she bought a new car instead when she got the money.
When did you start to make payments on the computer?
The first payment I made was in March.
And how come you made the first payment?
Because she didn't have the money to pay it.
Did you have a discussion with her about it?
I believe she gave me the money back in March, and the last 3 payments I've made, well, the last 4.
When did you ultimately confront your daughter about not making the payments on the computer?
When I was sent a done saying it hadn't been paid. Sure. This should be it. I believe that's it.
Well, this indicates in August that $128 were due, so that they were substantially behind. Did you know that they were substantially behind?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I assume that you had a discussion with your daughter when you received this.
Yes.
When was that?
That was the next day after I paid it.
And what did you tell her?
I told her if I was going to make the payments on it, then I want the computer. And I took a police officer out there and tried to get it. and she refused to give it to me.
Why did you take a police officer out to your daughter's house?
Because I know how she is. She would have fought with me. She'd have called the police on me, and I didn't want that.
So what happened when you got out there with the police?
He went up to the door and talked to her, and she refused to give it to me. Told him that they were having hard times, and she planned on catching up the payments. And he told me I couldn't do anything about it unless I filed.
Ms. Goins, did you tell the police officer that you were having hard financial times?
I told him that...
Just answer my question. Did you tell the police officer that you were having hard financial times?
No, ma'am, I did not.
What did you tell the police officer?
I told him that our car had broke down, and that's all the money that I had was enough to get our car fixed.
That's pretty much saying that you had some financial difficulty, right? What? So, you didn't say to the police officer, it's my computer, my mother gave it to me as a gift. What you said to the police officer was, I couldn't make the payments on it because my car broke down. The only money that I had was this $44 to have my car fixed. And therefore, I had to choose between having a car or making a payment on the computer. You did not say it was a gift.
No, I did tell him that it was a gift.
Absolutely right. That you're telling me now. You owe your mother the money for this computer. So your conduct is outrageous. And standing there and lying is even more outrageous. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,499. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Turner versus Montoya. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Turner, you look very angry, sir.
Yes, I am.
Life is short, Mr. Turner. This gentleman here is your daughter's ex-boyfriend. This is your daughter?
Yes, it is.
Beautiful girl. How old are you?
21.
How long were you and Miss Turner dating?
Approximately 4 years.
And how old are you, Mr. Montoya?
26.
And during the 4 or so years that you were dating Miss Turner, I assume that you did not have a positive relationship with her father.
Not at all. Since the beginning, he never gave me a chance.
How many daughters do you have, Mr. Turner?
I have 2. I have a 13-year-old also.
Nobody's ever good enough for your daughter, right?
That's correct.
I got it. Because your lawsuit really is pretty silly. When I read it.
I agree.
When I read it and I saw you and I saw your daughter, I said, this lawsuit is more than just about a cell phone that you say that Mr. Montoya stole that you had given to your daughter, because this is what this lawsuit is about. Your claim is that he had a fight with your daughter, which was really, according to you, pretty serious. You know, he ripped her dress, according to you. He rammed into her car, according to you. He stole a cell phone. He attacked her at home. All of those bad things. And all I'm hearing is your lawsuit is for $265.49 because you claim that he stole a cell phone that you had given your daughter.
Yes, he...
Okay. So now I want you to tell me why you're suing this man for $265 for a cell phone. First, when did you give your daughter the cell phone?
Well, it was my phone. I gave it to her that evening when she was going to go to a modeling shooting.
But it was your phone?
Yes.
Your number, it was regularly in your possession. You just lent it to her that night?
Exactly.
I see. And you don't exactly know what happened that evening because you weren't there?
No.
But your daughter was?
Yes.
What night did you have the last fight with your boyfriend?
It was around the end of July. I don't remember the exact date.
Do you know Mr. Turner?
He was the 27th.
Tell me what happened.
We got into a big argument because I wanted to go to a modeling convention and he wanted to go, but I didn't want him to go.
He didn't want to go?
No, I didn't want him.
You wanted to go to a modeling convention?
Yeah, and he wanted to go, but I didn't want him to go.
Oh, he wanted to go with you?
Yeah.
He's worried. Right?
Was.
You were worried at that time.
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
So you like to sort of keep an eye on your girl.
She's a pretty girl. I want to keep an eye on her.
Right. Bird, do me a favor. Would you just change position over there and step in between these two people? I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so he wanted to go with you. You said, stay home, and you got into an argument.
Correct.
Go ahead.
So he said he'll make sure I won't go, so that's when he ripped my dress. But he just ripped like a long slit in it where it'll show my underwear, so I couldn't wear the dress. But
did you do that?
Yeah, I admit to that. That's true.
So I changed outfits, and I still decided to go.
Were you living together at the time?
Yes.
How long had you been living together?
We lived together for a year.
For how long didn't your father approve of this arrangement? A long time?
He didn't mind that we were living together, just towards the end when a lot of arguments and things were going on. Him and Mr. Matoya were friends at one point.
But not recently?
Correct.
So what happened next?
So I went to the service station and he was there, and while I was pumping gas, he took my dad's cell phone, and I asked Matoya to return it to me, and he just got in a car and left.
Totally untrue.
What did you do?
I didn't even see her at any gas station. And I have one comment to make. They said that this occurred on the 27th, I believe her or her dad just said. I have a written statement that she wrote right here which says that it occurred on August 3rd.
Let me see.
All these allegations are totally unfalse.
Are totally unfalse?
Totally untrue, I mean, sorry. Mr. Turner has a restraining order against me. And basically, ever since he received this restraining order against me, he's been doing everything possible to try to get me thrown in jail.
You have a child together?
Yes.
Yes.
How old is your child?
He's 2.
Who is he living with now?
He's living with me.
And who are you living with?
My father.
Now, sir, did she call the police when you ripped her dress?
No.
She could have.
She could have.
Right? Because that's a violent act.
Okay,
right?
but...
Right? It's a violent
Yes,
act. She
that's
could
true.
have, and she didn't. Why do you think she would lie to me and tell me that you came to the gas station and you took her cell phone?
Because she lives with her dad, and basically what he says goes. She told me that she's going to say whatever her dad says to say because he'll kick her out the home. And he has a restraining order against me when we got into a physical fight. Ever since then, she told me also that he said, well, be careful because my dad feels that you got the best of him, so therefore he's doing anything to get you thrown in jail. He called and said I followed him to the airport. He called and said I followed him to work. He said I flattened his tires. He's just been making all these false statements to get me thrown in jail.
Do you have, Mr. Montoya, a bad temper?
No, I do not.
Well, you have to have a bad temper if you ripped her clothes.
I didn't want to put our business out there, but that day, she was basically punching me in my face, scratching me, kicking me.
Why?
And all I did was rip their dress.
Why was she doing that to you?
I think I held myself pretty good.
Why was she doing that to you? Why was she assaulting you?
She was upset between all the things me and her dad had been going through. Because we got into a fight. All this happened before that. And I was in the process of moving. Just my things were there, so I would come back occasionally.
Oh, so you were moving out of the residence?
Yes, I was.
I see. So you were not getting along to begin with. Now, you were not getting along. You're in the process of moving out. But you come home to pick up some of your stuff, and you find that she's going to some modeling class or something. And according to you, you want to go with her. What business was it of yours that she wanted to go someplace that day, that you wanted to be her chaperone?
You're right. That's none of my business. But we're here on a cell phone. We're not here on her dress being ripped.
We hear about what happened that day, sir, and what happened that day and all the surrounding circumstances, because you're not going to say to me, yes, Judge, you're absolutely right. I took the cell phone. You say, I didn't take the cell phone. She says you did take the cell phone. So I have to make a determination, Mr. Matoya, as to whether or not all of the circumstances of that day point to the fact that you did, in fact, take the phone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You rip her dress, she goes inside, she changes her dress, walks out of the house, leaving you standing there. And what you're telling me is, well, you just said, okay, I guess she wants to go all by herself and she doesn't want to go with me.
And later today,
I had a sick feeling in my gut that he was cheating on me. I suffer from PMS and I maybe overreacted.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Eugene Turner says his daughter's ex-boyfriend, Ron Matoyer, stole his cell phone. Ron says Eugene has never liked him.
Now, I have to make a judgment. And my judgment has to be, which of the two of you is telling the most cogent story? Which of the two of you is telling the story that makes the most common sense? And when I said to you, why would she not complain about, or not complain to the police, at least, about you ripping her dress or you coming and making a scene at the gas station? But she does say, I want the cell phone back. I just don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. I just want the cell phone back. As opposed to the story that you're telling me. You said, I want to go with you to the modeling class or to the modeling course or whatever it was, and she says, no, you're not going. You have an argument. You rip her dress. She goes inside. She changes her dress, walks out of the house anyway, leaving you standing there. And what you're telling me is, well, you just said, okay, I guess she wants to go all by herself and she doesn't want to go with me. That's what you want me to believe?
Yes,
well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
We have a police report too, Your Honor.
Let me see it.
Does he even have proof that he has a cell phone? Does he have a cell phone bill or anything of that nature?
Yes, I do.
Shh. You don't have to answer him. I'm the one who marshals the evidence.
I still need to get over here.
I would if I were you.
Okay.
So this is the report you made to the police, sir. I want you to listen. Maybe this will jog your memory. How do you pronounce your first name?
Shinique.
Shinique told me that Ron, I assume that's you, followed her to the Arco gas station located in the area of Heacock and Postal. She drove into the gas station, and when she got out to pay for the gas, Ron jumped into her car. He grabbed her father's cell phone. Ron began checking the phone's history to determine what calls she had received. Stop smirking, sir. She told him to get out of the car. Ron maintained possession of the cell phone, got out of the car and ran towards his car, which was parked nearby in the same parking lot. Shanique followed Ron on foot in an attempt to retrieve her father's cell phone. He refused to give her the phone. She went to call on a nearby payphone. As she dialed 911, she told Ron that she was calling the police. He took the phone from her and hung up. She tried dialing again, and again he took the phone from her and hung up. Any of that sound familiar?
None of it rings a bell.
None of it rings a bell. Okay. At that time, Mr. Turney, the police were told that the value of your cell phone was $100.
Yes. But when I went into T-Mobile to get the exact replaced value, they gave me a receipt, and it was $219.
Let me see. Okay. Mr. Matoya, now I know that you're going to leave here thinking that I've been very unfair to you, that there was no proof, as you say, that you stole the telephone. It's my job to determine who is telling the truth and who is fibbing. And based upon common sense and based upon what I've seen in the police report, I determined that you're the fibber. So you have to pay him $215. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'm back into you, right, please.
Apparently, Mr. Matoya is a compulsive liar.
Everything's untrue, and it's just total lies.
I clapped my daughters through with the bomb.
I got the best of him in the fight, physical fight that he started, so it's all revenge.
I'm just happy with the decision, and she can see that Ron's a liar.
You live and you learn. That's life.
We just stay positive and keep in a positive direction.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Fogg versus Hanson. Step forward, please.
John Fogg is suing his ex-roommate, Carol Hanson, for the return of his belongings and stolen money. Carol claims they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and John cheated.
Mr. Fogg, I gather that you moved into the defendant's home when you lost your prior residence. And according to Miss Hanson, you had a sort of a relationship. She wakes up one morning and finds you not home. She got very angry. She took all your stuff and she brought it to a friend's house, according to you, and you did that about 4:30 in the morning?
Approximately.
So tell me, what day were you unceremoniously evicted from Miss Hanson's home?
August 22nd.
How long had you been there?
3 months, approximately, Your Honor.
Were you a tenant? Were you paying rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have your own room?
Yes.
And where were you on August 22nd?
I was with my daughter.
Decided to spend the night at your daughter's house?
No, I didn't stay there. I went to the gun club and stayed there. They have a pool table and...
Why?
They belonged to the gun club. I didn't want to go home because she had wrote me a letter. On the 21st, she wrote me a letter that she loved me. And that left me a little apprehensive because she prefers women over men. And I didn't want to be involved in that situation.
Go ahead.
The letter came in on the 21st. On the 22nd, I got a cell phone at 4:50 when I answered it. At 4:50 in the morning, my things were thrown out. And also...
Just a second. The cell phone message was that your things were on the lawn?
They were on a porch at my friend's house.
You were taking them over to a friend of his?
Yes, I packed his belongings very neatly in bags.
Why did you do that?
Because he is a neat freak.
I'm asking, I know why you might do it, that he's a neat freak, but if you were angry because, according to your answer, you thought he was cheating on you.
Yes.
So if you were angry, how neatly did you pack up his stuff?
I did pack them neatly. I didn't roll them in balls or anything like that. I had a sick feeling in my gut that he was cheating on me, a feeling that I felt in the past when ex-boyfriends have cheated on me. He didn't come home all night, did not call.
Why didn't you just wait for him to come home and tell him to move?
Because I was afraid that he would charm his way back in, and I was afraid of risking disease.
Disease from what?
Diseases from sexually transmitted diseases.
Well, there's one way to avoid that.
Well, we didn't use condoms in the past.
I don't want to get so personal, Miss Hanson. I just want to explain to you that all you have to do is wait for him to come home, tell him to get his things out of the house. You don't have to have sex with him in order to tell him to do that. But you don't pack up his things in the middle of the night and go and put them on somebody's porch.
In my defense, I suffer from PMS and I maybe overreacted.
Fine. What items do you claim are missing, Mr. Fogg?
Several pairs of cufflinks, which I have pictures of. 2 rings that were in my suit jacket. The OxyContin.
What were your rings doing in a suit jacket?
Because when I left the other premises, I had to take, it wasn't uncommon for me to put 2 rings in the suit jacket. I had pills, suit jacket, $500. Apparently what I'm thinking is when she moved the clothing, she must have heard the pills inside, and she went through that. The love letter was in there also, and it's all gone.
You said there was cash missing. Where was the cash?
It was in the pocket, because she always would go through my drawers. The drawers that I had, I would put pieces of candy wrappers in. Okay, and every time I come home, the candy wrappers weren't there. So she was always in the drawer. So what I did was I went to the closet and had one inside the hinge. Those were never removed, so I put everything in there. Now, on the other hand, when I went to the police station, which I have reports here, on the 31st, because I was in enough trouble, I didn't want to have any problems with the police.
What do you mean you were in enough trouble?
Well, prior restraining order.
Against you?
Yes.
What did she say you did?
She claims that I pulled her hair in July, and she went to court 9803 saying I pulled her hair in July.
Did you pull her hair in July?
No.
Did you do it in June?
No, I never pulled her hair. If you read the report, it's a joke.
Report, please. Oh, yeah, I thought this was going to be easy. How much after you got this message on August 22nd that your stuff was being tossed did you respond to the location, Mr. Fogg?
I did the next day.
So, of course, it's possible that someone else took your property.
Well, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
It's possible that somebody else took your property. Isn't that right, Ms. Hanson? Right after you threw it out?
Yes.
That's possible. You're still responsible. Whether you took it, Ms. Hanson, or whether somebody else took it, you're responsible.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम, वेलकम बैक। उम्मीद है आप सभी लोग खैरियत से होंगे। तो आज मैं आपके लिए लेकर आई हूँ एक जादुई तेल की रेसिपी। अगर आपके बाल झड़ते हैं या बाल कमजोर हैं, बारीक है, तो ये तेल की रेसिपी आपके लिए ही है। इससे जो है 10 दिन के अंदर अंदर आप वाज़े फर्क महसूस करेंगे। बाल जो है वो अच्छे खासे मोटे महसूस होंगे, चमक भी आएगी उनमें, बहुत ही नेचुरल जो है बाल शाइन करेंगे। बहुत ही आसान तेल की रेसिपी है, तो फटाफट से रेसिपी स्टार्ट करते हैं। यहाँ पर सबसे पहले मैंने लिए हैं 2 मीडियम साइज के प्याज। ये देख लें, इस तरह के जो प्याज है ये आपने ले लेने हैं। उसके बाद हमने लेना है लहसुन। तो लहसुन आपके सामने आप देख सकते हैं, एक तरफ मैंने लिया है देसी लहसुन और एक तरफ ये जो नॉर्मली मार्केट में ज्यादातर अवेलेबल होता है, जिसे वलायती लहसुन भी बोला जाता है, ये अवेलेबल है। तो हमने यहाँ पर इस्तेमाल करना है देसी लहसुन, क्योंकि जो चमक और जो केमिकल्स देसी लहसुन में मौजूद है वो वलायती में बिल्कुल भी मौजूद नहीं है। और तो हमारी इस रेसिपी के लिए ज्यादा करामत देसी लहसुन ही है, तो हम देसी लहसुन ही इस्तेमाल करेंगे। बाजार से ये थोड़ा मुश्किल है कि आपको मिले, अक्सर लोगों ने अपने घरों में लगाया हुआ है, तो आप कहीं से पता कर सकते हैं, लेकिन इस्तेमाल आपने यही करना है। उसके बाद मैंने दोनों प्याज लिए और उन्हें मोटा मोटा काट लिया। एक और बात का ध्यान रखना है कि छिलका समेत इसे काटना है, ऐसा ना हो आप छिलका उतार दें। छिलके में जो है वो बहुत से न्यूट्रिएंट्स मौजूद हैं, तो उन्हें हमने स्किप नहीं करना, इसीलिए जो है वो छिलका हम नहीं उतारेंगे। इन्हें अच्छे से काट कर मैं प्लेट में ऐड कर लूंगी। उसके बाद अब बारी आती है लहसुन की। तो लहसुन को भी हमने इसी तरह छिलका समेत मोटा मोटा चॉप कर लेना है, मोटे मोटे पीसेस में काट लेंगे। यहाँ पर ये तकरीबन लहसुन के मैंने 15-16 पीसेस लिए हैं। इन्हें कुछ इस तरह से हम काट लेंगे, इसका भी छिलका साथ ही रहे, इस बात का आपने खास ध्यान रखना है। तो जनाब यहाँ पर हमने लहसुन को भी मोटा मोटा काट लिया है और उसे भी हम प्लेट में ऐड कर लेंगे। तो बस यही 2 चीजें हैं जिन्हें हम तेल में ऐड करने वाले हैं। उसके बाद हमने ले लिया एक बड़ी सी कढ़ाई जिसमें हम तेल को पकाएंगे। उसमें मैंने सबसे पहले ऐड किए हैं 2 कप सरसों का ऑयल। बिल्कुल नॉर्मल ऑयल है जो आमतौर पर हम घरों में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, सर पे लगाते हैं, सरसों का तेल। उसके मैंने लिए हैं 2 कप। 2 कप कढ़ाई में ऐड कर देंगे और इसी के साथ जो है हमने प्याज और लहसुन जो काट कर रखा था उसे भी साथ ही ऐड कर देंगे और जो है इस पॉइंट पर हम फ्लेम को ऑन कर देंगे। फ्लेम हमने लो ही रखनी है, फ्लेम को हम हाई नहीं करेंगे और जो है चम्मच के साथ इसे अच्छे से मिक्स कर देंगे। तो यहाँ पर सवाल पैदा होता है कि हमने फ्लेम को लो क्यों रखना है, क्योंकि जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स और जो केमिकल्स प्याज और लहसुन के अंदर मौजूद हैं वो हाई फ्लेम पर जो है वो हम इसमें से नहीं निकाल सकते। जितनी लो फ्लेम होगी उतनी ही आसानी से जो है इसके न्यूट्रिएंट्स जो है प्याज और लहसुन के वो तेल में शामिल होते जाएंगे। तो जनाब यहाँ पर जो है ये पकना शुरू हो गया है। तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता तकरीबन 10 मिनट के बाद आप नोट करेंगे कि इसमें उबाल आना शुरू हो गया है। तब तक जो आपने इसे पकाते रहना है। इसी के साथ मैं आपको अपना लास्ट जादुई इंग्रेडिएंट बता दूं तो यहाँ मैं यूज कर रही हूँ देसी एलोवेरा, जिसे खुद घर में लगाया गया है। मैं बाजार की एलोवेरा यूज नहीं कर रही और मैं स्ट्रिक्टली आपको भी कह रही हूँ कि आपने बाजार की एलोवेरा यूज नहीं करनी, क्योंकि ऑलमोस्ट 90% एलोवेरा जो बाजार में मौजूद है वो 2 नंबर है या उसमें मिलावट होती है। तो हमें प्योर एलोवेरा चाहिए। इसी से जो है हमें रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे, जो रिजल्ट्स हम चाहते हैं या जैसे बाल हम चाहते हैं। जब हम प्योर देसी चीजें इस्तेमाल करेंगे फिर ही हमें वो रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे। तो यहाँ पर मैंने 2 टेबलस्पून के बराबर एलोवेरा ली है और इसी के साथ आप देख सकते हैं जी तेल अच्छे से पकना शुरू हो गया है। हम इसे पकाते जा रहे हैं और इस पॉइंट पर जब जो है ये अच्छे से कलर इसका चेंज हो गया है, बहुत ही ब्राउन कलर हो गया है प्याज और लहसुन का, तो इसका मतलब है कि सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स जो हैं वो निकल आए हैं, अच्छे से ये पक चुका है। इस पॉइंट पर हमने इसके अंदर ऐड कर दिए हैं एलोवेरा। 2 टेबलस्पून एलोवेरा के हैं। एलोवेरा ऐड करने के बाद तकरीबन 2 मिनट के लिए इसे लो फ्लेम पर पकाना है। तब तक जो है अच्छे से इसमें चम्मच भी हिलाना है और 2 मिनट के बाद जो है फ्लेम बंद कर देनी है। तो ये देखें जी हमारा जबरदस्त जादुई तेल बिल्कुल रेडी हो चुका है। आपके सामने सारे इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं, कोई हमने महंगी चीज इस्तेमाल नहीं की। बाजार से आप देख सकते हैं कि जो लोग गारंटी देते हैं कि ये जी तेल है, इतनी जल्दी बाल बड़े होंगे, घने होंगे, गहरे होंगे, चमकदार होंगे, तो वो 2-2 हज़ार का तेल जो है वो मिल रहा है। मैंने पर्सनली खुद ऐसे बहुत से तेल इस्तेमाल किए हैं, उनका 50 ml तेल जो है मैंने 2-2 हज़ार में भी बाय किया है और उनके मुझे 0 रिजल्ट्स मिले हैं। तो उसके बाद मैं आपके लिए लेकर आई हूँ ये जादुई तेल की रेसिपी, जिसे पर्सनली जो है टेस्ट किया गया है और उसके बाद ये रेसिपी आपके साथ शेयर की जा रही है। तो आपने भी लाजमी बनाना है और इसे इस्तेमाल करके रिजल्ट जो है कमेंट सेक्शन में शेयर करने हैं। और उसके बाद जो है तेल को हम अच्छे से ठंडा होने के लिए देंगे। मैंने तकरीबन 3 से 4 घंटे के लिए इसे छोड़ दिया था और उसके बाद जो है इसे पोर कर लिया है, अच्छे से छान लिया है और एक बाउल में निकाल लिया है। तो जनाब ये देखें, ये है हमारा तेल, जादुई तेल जिसका था सबको इंतजार। तो ये तेल आ चुका है, तो फटाफट से बनाएं और जो है अपने बालों को ढेर सारा फायदा पहुंचाएं। उसके बाद जो है मैंने एक बोतल ले ली है, इस बोतल में ऐड कर देंगे और इसे जो है आप तकरीबन 6-7 महीने के लिए रख सकते हैं स्टोर करके और 6-7 महीने तक आप इसे इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। इसी के साथ जो हमने एलोवेरा ऐड किया उसका मकसद भी यही है कि इसकी जो है तेल की लाइफ को बढ़ाया जा सके। तो बस ये थी हमारी आज की वीडियो। उम्मीद है वीडियो आपको अच्छी लगी होगी वीडियो और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दिया करें ताकि ऐसी मजीद इजी और इंस्टेंट सी वीडियोस आप तक पहुंचती रहें। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट किसी अच्छी सी रेसिपी के साथ, तब तक अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा, दुआओं में याद रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज।